Hey everybody, we've got my amazing friend Kelly Lintz here. She's a Sapphire ambassador with Plexus. She's going to be talking to you about all that stuff. She's a professional actress. I randomly saw her on TV on accident and lost my mind. So she really is legit. She'll just sneak up on you in all these movies. She's the real deal, and she's gonna give us her business testimony. She's going to talk about all the things. So, Kelly, welcome. Thank you for being our guest. And we are just so encouraged by you being.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. That makes me feel amazing. And I'm so happy to share my experience, strength, and hope with a different group of ladies that I don't usually get to talk to. Some of you I know, and some of you I don't. For those of you who don't know me, Sadie is correct. I've been a professional actress for about 30 years. So some of the shows that I've worked on are things like One Tree Hill, Army Wives, The Resident. And this summer, I had the opportunity to do several episodes of Netflix's top-rated show, Stranger Things. So you will see that coming out in 2025.
Hey, can I
And
jump in? Hang on.
sure.
This is so rude of me, but I'm like, this is like, I'm fangirling right now. But what's the movie that I took the picture of? You don't even put that on your like famous stuff. Like, you don't even
No, I think you saw The Accountant.
know.
No,
Gifted.
oh, Gifted. Yeah, Gifted. Yep,
Yeah. Is
Gifted.
it like, is that like a B list for you?
I don't know. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
another good movie that you should see that's very family friendly is Miracles from Heaven. That's another fun one. I played Jen Garner's best friend in that. That was a great one. Um, and then I also, probably a lot of you know or don't know, that I raised four child actors. And so for probably 15 of my 30 years, I was all over the world with them. They've worked on shows like The Walking Dead. My daughter stars on a series for Amazon called Bosch. Um, Under the Dome. My son was in Ms. Marvel. And so it's really been a whole thing, and it's part of my business testimony because it's why I came to Plexus. And so I'll share that in a second, but I was thinking about, Sadie asked me to speak, and I said, what do you want me to talk about? And she's like, I don't care, whatever you want to talk about. And so I was like, I'm not going to talk about duplication or recruiting, because literally your leader is a master at both. I have nothing on her in either of those areas. Um, a lot of you know that I probably what I'm known for in Plexus is my ability to write good copy, but I don't feel like talking about that either. So I just want to speak from my heart tonight, because you're catching me at a profound moment in my whole entire life. And Plexus is a part of that moment. And so I want to talk to you guys tonight about an intangible that we don't often talk about that goes along with building a social selling business, and that is personal development. You may not have been called to build a Plexus business just for finances. It may very well be that God is calling you to Plexus so that you can become who you need to become to achieve your purpose for what you were put on this earth to do. I thought I came to Plexus and it was an answer to prayer for my health. And you hear this all the time, like I came for my health, but then I was like, oh my gosh, I can make a crap ton of money. And that was my story. I just had the good fortune to speak at a conference this weekend for aspiring actors. Some of them are veteran actors as well, but this conference had like directors and producers and casting directors and agents and all these people sharing, their experience to help these, people coming up behind us. And I spoke on the absolute dire need for an artist to have an alternate stream of income, a parallel A plan. And a lot of times the way they put it is a B plan. And it's sort of villainized, it's demonized and as an artist, because it's like, what you hear from your Aunt Hilda at every holiday meal, like, oh, you're gonna be an actor? Do you have a B plan? Because you're gonna need it. And no artist likes to hear that. And so I spoke to them about how only 6% of all artists make a full-time living as an actor. Only 14% of us actually earn enough to qualify for our health benefits through the Screen Actors Guild. And that qualification amount is $25,000 a year, which is pretty much poverty level. And so, but unfortunately, most actors don't build a B plan because for three reasons. One, nobody tells us to, except for Aunt Hilda at Christmas. But nobody within the industry that has any kind of experience who is palatable for us to listen to tells us. Instead, we hear things like, I was living in my car and I had $3.32 left to my name and lightning struck. And then I booked This Is Us. And so we subconsciously believe, okay, you starve, you struggle, you struggle, you starve, lightning, Oscar. And that's what we think the trajectory is. And unfortunately, for every person who that is their story that you read about in People magazine, there's thousands of actors for whom their story doesn't end that way. And the second reason is because we don't want to. We don't want to build it. We don't want to have a B plan because we love acting and like we're artists. We don't sell things except for our soul to Hollywood. And finally, because deep inside, we don't feel like we're allowed to. We feel like if we pursue another alternative income, that people will think we're a failure, that we're not sold out enough, that casting directors won't take us seriously. And so you have all these people that just barely make enough to get by. And that was me coming into Plexus. I didn't want to build a business because I was afraid of what people would think. And a lot of people have that fear, but mine was on steroids because I was having to leave behind my identity. But the problem was is that I didn't have a choice because when I go on set with my child actors, um, they make money, but I didn't. So when we had four of them, so it was not uncommon for my husband to be in Los Angeles for 5 months of the year with one of them, and for me to be in like Budapest, Hungary with another one for 7 months. And we would call each other and be like, hey, quick question. Who's at home paying the mortgage? Nobody? Great. Oh, our children, even better. So I had no choice. And when I got my first paycheck, the Lord was like, by the way, you thought this was for your health? No, it's for your finances. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess I have no choice, but I went into it very begrudgingly. Well, within 3 years, I had a six-figure income. I was able to buy the first new car I'd ever had. I was able to go with my kids and be with them without sending them with a guardian. And it's been just the most amazing journey for me financially. And I thought that was it. I thought that it was like an answer to my prayer for my finances. Well, a couple of years ago, a lot of you know me as a writer. Probably writing is like what I do best, um, at least within the Plexus landscape. But also, I had a blog for stage parents, and a lot of people have said, "Oh my gosh, you need to write a book about your family." And I tried that, and I failed at it. I failed at it because I wasn't the person that I needed to be to succeed at that yet at that time. A couple of years ago, the Lord said to me, I was doing a Daniel fast, which I do every January to get clarity on where I want to go for the year. And the Lord said, hey, you've spent 30 years helping other people tell stories that they've written, and now it's time for you and I to tell a few of our own. And I said, okay, I don't know how to do that. And he said, maybe learn. And so I went back to school for screenwriting. And because, I've read thousands of screenplays, but that doesn't mean you know how to write one. And if I was going to do it, I wanted to do it right. So I went back to school and I was able to attend on Zoom a school in Redding, California. And I remember being in Hawaii on the Emerald Extravaganza 2 years ago, almost three now. And I had to get up early to get on Zoom to be on to go to class before I would head out to the beach. And it was really, really hard. And I remember when I got there, one of the books in the curriculum was Atomic Habits. And I was like, doing here? This is a network marketing book. This is a book about entrepreneurship. if you ask me now what book was the most valuable to me in that whole program, it wasn't any book on screenwriting, it wasn't any book on formatting or character development or story or anything. That book is what allowed me to complete my first screenplay, because there was so much discomfort that I had to overcome. Just like you have to overcome discomfort in your Plexus business and you learn how to do it here. I had to overcome when I was taking those courses, and things like break your goal down into manageable bites. So I would be like, okay, I had a really bad imposter syndrome. I was like, okay, all I have to do to consider myself a screenwriter today is I just have to do my homework for this class. It'll take me about 30 minutes. And if I do it, then I'm a screenwriter today. And so I would do that thing. It would be like, oh, come up with 10 ideas for a screenplay. Great, I can do that. The next night it would be like, okay, put it through this grid of criterion to narrow it down to your top 5 and then your top 3. And as the year went on, those assignments would get longer and harder. And in Atomic Habits, it talks about make it pleasurable, because if you make what you have to do pleasurable, you're more likely to repeat it. So I remember I went out and I got some silky pajamas, because I love being in my bed in comfy pajamas. It's like my favorite place to be. And so my thing every night is I would finish cooking dinner for everybody. I would clean up and I would take my hot bath and I would get into my silky pajamas and I would have to do my homework, even though it was sometimes hard and I wanted to throw my computer across the room. And when I was done, I knew I was allowed to watch one episode of whatever show I was binging. Like, this is the kind of stuff I had to do. And you guys, that is how, after 9 months, I finished writing my first screenplay. And based on that, I was hired to write a second screenplay. So now I have written 2. And my where I'm at now is I'm in development to produce my first feature film as a director. And when I tell you there's so many gaps in my knowledge, there's so many things that I don't know that I need to figure out to do this. And I'm using the same type of process that, as far as like habit stacking and mindset training, that you don't learn. I never learned that in drama school. I learned it in my Plexus career. And there is zero chance I would have ever been able to do any of the things that I'm doing or have the courage or bravery to do what I'm about to do if I had not become a jewel with Plexus. And I'm telling you what, if you can become a jewel with Plexus, you can pretty much do anything. And so there's going to be times in your business where you just don't feel like doing it. And you need to stay, not because people need to get healthy, not because you need a paycheck, but because there might be something that you're going to do or need to do in your life that is why God put you here, that you will need to develop the perseverance, the ability to stick to habits, the ability to have accountability, to be able to become the person you need to become to complete that thing. Plexus, for me, truly is just the beginning. And it's the beginning for a lot of people. Look at Celeste Gwynn. Look at what she's accomplished in Kenya because of her Plexus income. Look at people like Rick and Amy Kosmolsky, who have changed 9 laws that affect the differently abled because they had the financial freedom for him to quit his job and to go lobby in Washington. Look at, I can't remember who the diamond is. I want to say it's Julia Carty, who's adopted children. That is her purpose in life. And she did it because of Plexus. And so when you feel like quitting, when your business isn't growing as fast as you want it to grow, when people are dumb and stupid and they quit for the freaking 5th time, and you're like, listen, man, if you can't take a pink drink in the morning and a few pills, you've just got more problems than I can solve for you, okay? When, when people in your downline or your business builders are just irritating the crap out of you, it is worth it to stay. Is there anything else I wanted to say to you guys?
Okay.
So just a
Well,
little,
go, go.
I was gonna say just a little tease in case, because I feel like the next question is, well, what is your first screenplay about? I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. And I have a really good reason for why I'm not gonna tell you, but I am like full force. I spend from 8:30 in the morning till about 8:30 to about 10:30 being a Plexus ambassador. And for the rest of my day, I'm Kelly the actress and I am Kelly the producer, and I am full force moving forward with this project. And I'm not saying anything about it to anybody because I prefer to be a doer, not a talker. But I will give you a little private sneak peek that Plexus will be the first to know what it is.
Okay, well, we're going to hold you to that. I'm going to change our view really fast. And first of all, is our friend not amazing? Can we get a nod on how amazing she is? Okay. We have a lot of people who do a replay watch. So I want you to know that we might have to change when our calls are. But anyway, this was phenomenal. We don't want to know. Like, I mean, we want to know, but we don't want to know. We want you to release it the way that you want it to be because that is perfect and amazing. And does anyone have any questions for Kelly? And we won't keep you long. We didn't even discuss this question part, so
Oh, that's fine.
just a second. Okay. Um, does anyone have any questions that they want to ask her or feedback?
I do, but are you gonna keep recording?